If you feel like you're losing everything, you're being chosen. What is good, fam? You know who I am, Wealthy Westbrooks, back with another video. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, join the tribe, and if you've been tuned in, then you already know the vibe. I'm about to get straight into it. I'm going to tell you why God separates the chosen ones. I'm going to tell you about those periods of isolation, those periods of identity death, those moments where you're alone, and why it's happening for you. Not happening to you. Notice how I said happening for you. It's happening for you, chosen one, not happening to you. Okay, so I'm going to break this down, okay? So if you feel like you're losing everything, maybe you're losing a job, you just lost your job, maybe you just lost a loved one, maybe like a relationship, maybe you are losing your like creativity and your momentum, or you got writer's block, or you're losing your focus. Like every time you're going through some type of a loss, right? Or if you feel like you're just isolated and you don't fit in and you got no friends and people aren't hitting you up anymore and the girl's not calling you back and she's not texting you back and he's not calling you back and he's playing games with you. And listen, those times where you're forced essentially to be alone and just deal with being by yourself, right? No one's hitting you up, you got no plans, you're getting no matches, conversations and plans are falling through, job applications, they're not calling you back, they're letting you go, you're getting laid off, AI is replacing you, you move to a different place, you move to a different city, people don't interact, you got no friends, you got no stimulus, you're just by yourself. Okay, why? Especially because you see other people, right? You see other people living their dreams and having fun and hanging out with people and having friends, right? And you're probably wondering, like, I want that. Like, how can I get that? Like, well, I'm going to explain to you why God wants you to be alone right now, chosen one. Because, yes, you are a social being. Yes, you are designed and born to connect with other people. But the isolation period is absolutely critical. It's absolutely essential to your growth and to your path. Why? Because understand this, chosen one. God isolates people so that they can hear him clearly. So the reason that you're not caught up in the mix, the reason you're not caught up in the scene is because, honestly, all of that would be noise. All of that would be distraction. All of that would take away your clarity and your focus, which should be on your purpose and your calling. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't enjoy this. Like, this is sad and this is boring and I feel bad, and you know, you're not having a good time, right? Like, you want to be going out, doing things, have people hitting you up, like you want affection and love and attention, but you're like, you can't get it. So you're like, why would God want me to feel like this? I'm going to explain to you. It's because you need to understand you have to love yourself. You need to be content with what you have, chosen one. You need to be content with being by yourself, right? We came into this world alone. You need to understand that. We cannot rely on anything external, whether that's a circumstance, a person, like a place, like an object, right? You can't rely on any of these things to control, right? And determine your inner happiness, right? Your peace, your tranquility, your serenity, your joy, your bliss. None of these things in the outer world can do that stuff for you. God is the only thing that can fill that void for you. And so he needs you to understand that and witness that. So by stripping away everything externally, right? And by maybe, I mean, dude, I remember times when, like, I've had to, like, you know, I've gotten fired from jobs. This is a long time ago, but like fired from jobs, or like had no money, had to sell things that I cared about, all my belongings and things that I had, like, was attached to. And you'd be wondering, like, why would God put me in this situation? Like, I'm trying my best, I'm doing all my best. It's because you're in rooms that don't really serve your higher purpose. It's because you're attached to things that are actually holding you back and keeping your attention when you should be doing different things with your attention on other things. Simple as that. So the reason your life gets shaken up sometimes and people get taken out of your life or you get removed from certain circumstances is because God needs to recalibrate you. God needs to get you back to baseline, back to the drawing board, right? It's kind of like the Etch-a-Sketch, right? He's got to shake it up. Next thing you know, clean slate. God has to do that with you a lot of times, especially as a chosen one. We have so much that we've been through. We have so many thoughts. We have so much connection, so much sensitivity, so much empathy, so much awareness, and so many downloads that we need to be constantly monitoring and constantly, like, updating the programming and the recoding the brain. And you can only do that when you're by yourself. You can really only do that when you're by yourself because, number one, you get the calling from God, right? You can hear the voice of God, right? You can hear your own consciousness, which is the voice of God, right? Your consciousness is the voice of God. It's the authentic voice of God. And again, when you're out in the mix, when you're out and about, listening to the music, at the parties, watching the movies, out with the friends, it's all this other nonsense and this just a bunch of stuff that usually not always, but usually isn't serving you and your higher self and your higher good. So the whole time you could be growing, you could be prospering, you could be blooming and developing and evolving and essentially getting closer to God and becoming your better version. You're essentially backtracking. You're essentially taking steps backwards. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people make progress and then they take back steps. And then they wonder why they're not where they want to be. It's because they're not realizing that they're actually taking back steps. They're only focusing on the progress that they're making when they do make progress. The little wins they make, or the times they do show up and the times they do it, they're like proud of themselves. But that's nothing really more than just an egos thing. That's nothing really more than just a minor accomplishment. The accomplishment that you should be going for, chosen one, is longevity, long term. God wants you to have a long-term vision, and he needs for you to see where you're going. And so a lot of times when you're so caught up in the now with the friends and being in the moment with people, not by yourself, but with people, you're often you're following trends, right? Your attention and your focus is on things of the world, and then it's on things and ideas that other people are bringing to you. And a lot of the times it's not organic. It's not the stuff that you would naturally be in tune with, right? And sometimes it's just like this, like again, it's just distracting, and it can be very, it can be deceitful even. It can be very just unaligned, right? There's just very, what's the word I'm looking for? Irrelevant, I guess is a great word here, right? It has no relevance to what you're actually doing. So everybody wants to go out and watch the football game, okay? But like, how is that helping you? Now, no shade, shout out to everybody who watch football. I get it, like, it's fun. But I'm just saying, like, understand how this works. You got to really figure out why God wants you to be alone. And usually it's because, most of the time, it's because you're not really doing what you should do when you're out and about with the people. So when you get to be alone, you have to be, you're forced to face your thoughts. You're forced to face your inner being, your inner demon. You're forced to face the truth. Right? And so many times we run to hang out with people and get involved with things and events and go places because we're looking for an escape. And God wants you to stop escaping, chosen one. You need to come to a position where you're at peace, where you're at acceptance, where you've embodied who you are and what you are in the spirit and the essence. God has told you, stay still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. So you need to slow down. You need to take time to reflect. You need to take time to really assess your situation, where you're at, where you're going, what you're doing this for. A lot of times we get caught up in the rat race. A lot of the times we get caught up in the mix. I remember times when, you think you have all the plans in the world, right? I would think I wanted to do this. I thought I wanted to do that, right? I thought I wanted to be like a super successful real estate agent. And I did sell some houses, but no matter what I did, like, to the best of my abilities, it seemed like there was too much tension. There was too much friction. It was like God didn't really want me in that vehicle at that time. And so I was very attentive and had proper discernment at that time, when it's like, even though I'm putting all this energy in, it will work if I really wanted to. I feel like God has a bigger plan for me. And sometimes we need to acknowledge that. We need to accept that what we're doing might not be what God wants us to do. And so that's oftentimes why God puts you by yourself and God isolates you. It's because what you're doing is just not what you're supposed to do. And the only way you're really going to find out what you're supposed to do is by being by yourself, sitting by yourself, facing your thoughts, facing your fears, facing your innermost feelings, and just coming to the realization of it all. And you cannot do that when you're outside. You cannot do that when you're just constantly stimulated by the external world and all this dopamine. And so God is oftentimes, every season I've been isolated, every time I've lost somebody, it's only because you're going to get better. It's only because more blessings are on the way. It's only because you're being shaped and chiseled and molded and into the person that God needs you to be for your next chapter. The lessons you'll learn, the mental fortitude you'll develop, the strength you'll develop, the courage you'll develop, the bravery, the wisdom you'll gain, just the experience, the perspective. There's so much that comes from just being by yourself. And honestly, a lot of the things you'll do in life, you'll do by yourself. A lot of the things you're going to need to do will be by yourself. Go out by yourself, have fun by yourself, love yourself, be by yourself. You should enjoy that. A lot of the time, God has you doing it because you don't ever do it. A lot of you don't like, sometimes you just don't like being by yourself. And you need to ask yourself why. You should love being by yourself. So if your own presence disturbs you, right? If your own company, being with yourself, disturbs you, that's something you need to check about. You need to look into that. Because how do you think other people feel about you when you're around them, low key or high key? right? So you need to get to a place where you're truly like happy with who you are by yourself. You're not dependent on anybody or anything outside of you. And when you do that, you're really whole, you're really fulfilled, you're really coming from a place of true higher consciousness, right? Because you're not afraid, you're not low vibrational, you're not living in shame, you're not living in guilt, you're not mad, you're in bliss, you're happy, you're content. Okay? And being content is just essentially meaning just being, happy with what you got, grateful for what you have, satisfied for now, but eager for more. That's what I like to say. So those are essentially some of the reasons why God has you isolated. It's because your next chapter is better, the next relationship is better, the next person who you're supposed to be involved with is better for you, better match, better job match, better house, better car. Everything, maybe you got into a car accident, you're gonna get a better car, or the car that was meant for you, or just in a situation where maybe it's not as nice as a car, but now you got more money and you can help your friend. Like, everything is always working out for you, and I need you to believe that. And sometimes God puts you by yourself to have you learn that lesson, because you're the whole time thinking, oh, I'm by myself, this is so bad. But until you understand that that's part of your divine purpose, that's part of your path, that's part of your journey, that's part of your ascension, that's part of your evolution, that's part of your growth, and that's part of God's plan for you, you'll be stressed out. But you can understand that and believe that and know that, and just go through your day-to-day with that in mind, you'll be a lot happier. So if this video helped you, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. I've been going crazy on TikTok. I've been going crazy on Instagram. If you guys haven't already followed me on there, make sure you do. You specifically, family, you as an individual. Shout out to you. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Link in the description if you want to book a call with me, a Chosen One Blueprint session. I'm doing a Black Friday sale right now. There's only a few spots left. It's half off, 50% off. If you want to get on a call with me, we'll talk for about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll go through your business, your life, your relationships, your goals, and essentially rewire your mindset and your paradigm to take yourself to the next level, like wherever you want to do. My goal is to help you live your desired reality and remind you what you already know. You're chosen, okay? So again, everything you need is in the link in the description. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, okay? Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Turn on the post notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos coming up in the future. Get my book, New You Now, Guide to Amazing Improvement. Again, everything you need is down below. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy, blessed, and focus on success. And when you see me drop another video, you already know what to do, fam. It's happy and peace. Thank you.